And welcome back to Hannity. So like clockwork, liberals have taken the horrible South Carolina shooting from last week, and they're trying to use it to advance their own narrative and agenda. Now, on his HBO show, Bill Maher, he went so far as to suggest that Fox News somehow is partially to blame for what happened. Watch this.
Do you think that's why this young man shot up that church? I think it's really...
Well, we can never know why someone snaps, but I bet you I know where he got his news. I'm not surprised this guy thought they're taking over the country. Obviously, he's a warped mind. That goes into it. But I don't think it was video games. And I do think the media is responsible. I wouldn't say we should be droning Fox News, but we did drone Anwar al-Awlaki because he inspired people. He didn't do any terrorist acts. He just inspired them.
Let's drone Fox. Let's blame Fox. By the way, that's not all. Comedy Central's Jon Stewart, he went after yours truly on The Daily Show last night because I dared to call out Democrats for politicizing this incident less than 24 hours after the shooting. Watch this.
It's a sickness. This rush to use tragedy to advance your narrative. Combine that with an inability for self-examination, an almost comical degree of self-exculpatory rhetoric, flag pins, little bit of leg, and a complete immunity to irony, you got yourself a full-blown case of Foxabetes.
I did not politicize the tragedy. The left did. Here with reaction. Fox News contributors DeRoy Murdoch, Michelle Fields, and from Big and Rich, he's back in the house, singer, songwriter, the man behind the Redneck Riviera lifestyle brand. You got your own brand now? What's this?
Sean, I brought you some boots.
Come on.
We'll get it kicked off on a positive note here, buddy.
Wow.
Got you some Redneck Riviera boots. These things are...
Boots?
I'll get you some
Wait a minute.
boots.
Okay.
I'll sell them for a wallet. This is the wallet. This is all I wear in my spare time. Sneakers and boots.
I know this about you. So we launched it.
And I got my jeans on, so I can put them on as soon as we're done.
It's doing very well. RedneckRiviera.com. It's all on there. You can go check it out.
I'm proud. Listen, you're an entrepreneur. You're the American dream personified.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Big fan of Big and Rich music. Here's something that I think we need to discuss here. They're blaming Fox News. That's a joke. You got to blame the person responsible. But I was born and raised in New York, but I moved around the country. And I lived in Alabama. And I lived in Georgia. And I know and understand the southern people. There seems to be this belief that people in the South want to cling to this flag when there are other reasons why good people don't want to change it. Why is there this misperception about people in the South?
There's only one flag I really care about.
The American flag.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I think that's the end of the argument right there. I think we can go on ad nauseum about this forever. If something's bringing pain or something's bringing something that somebody uses for hate like that, I mean, I just don't see the point of continuing to go forward with it. And you know, Nikki Haley seeing what she did, I applaud that, and I think she's right.
But look, I want to look at the fact we had signs, evidence, symptoms that this guy was going nuts way before this happened. Fine, we can debate flags, we can debate gun laws. This guy didn't respect the laws that were written prior to this incident. He didn't obey the laws. But why don't we look at why aren't we catching these people that are telegraphing future behavior?
Well, a flag didn't force this guy to go and kill innocent people that were worshiping. It wasn't a flag. It wasn't. It was simply just a crazy guy that went and did this. And I think it's unfair for Bill Maher to then say that this is Fox News or this is Republicans, that we inspired someone to go into a church and kill people. If you're going to use that line of reasoning, well, I would say let's look at Bill Maher. He has a show which all he does is spew hatred for Christians, for Christianity. If you're going to use that line of reasoning, on one hand, we have someone who went and killed someone in a church, and you have Bill Maher who's constantly talking about how awful religion and Christianity is, and that God is this awful person.
Well, you know, this bothers me as a conservative and somebody that more usually aligns with the Democratic Party. Ernest Hollings, a Democrat, put that flag up.
That's right.
It was people like Robert Byrd, a Southern...
But they like to point the finger at us.
But they didn't support the Civil Rights Act of 64, the Voting Rights Act of 65. And then we've got Hillary. She's got a problem. She's speaking on racial issues today in Ferguson, Missouri. Even Paul Begala says she's got to answer some questions about the Arkansas flag when her husband actually, was part of it, apparently signed the flag, the Confederate flag, as the flag of the state and honored that flag. and they had campaign buttons with the Confederate symbol on it.
How about that?
1992.
It might be a good idea to dig up those campaign buttons and bring them out and show them to people. Look, I think what's amazing about this, I call it the flush to judgment, where the left runs out right away and blames the right for whatever atrocity takes place. I don't think we even know if this killer even had a TV set, did he even have cable? And if you actually spend any time watching Fox News, I counted at least 17 black folks who are on camera here at Fox, including Kevin Corke, often from the White House. You've got Harris Faulkner, Lauren Green, Kelly Wright, and other anchors, and you've got contributors like yours truly, Deneen Borelli, et cetera. So if this is supposedly such a racist network, why are there so many black people on camera here?
Everybody that any good person with a good heart and soul and a conscience finds racism repugnant. Isn't it a small minority now that we're talking about in America?
Don't you remember the first song you ever learned? Red and yellow, black and white, they are precious in His sight. Remember the song? As we were little kids.
What you're talking about?
I don't remember that one. but it's the
Vacation
country
Bible
version.
School.
Is that
Okay,
right?
so my dad's a preacher, so maybe I know some songs down in the catalog that you don't know. But I was always taught that everybody's equal, and we all live in America, and we all work really hard, and we care about our families. And this evil guy, he's
When you
just
formed the
evil,
music
man.
mafia, it was you, it was Gretchen,
Yeah.
it was Kenny, it was
Cowboy
Cowboy Troy,
Troy, right.
You had women, you had black, white, everybody.
That's right, and that's the beauty of music, is that music doesn't really have boundaries. Music is for everybody.
What
Everybody
about the
listens to
N-word? The
music.
president used the N-word. What about the N-word in rap lyrics?
Well, I mean, I have friends in the urban world that do that, that put that in their lyrics, and I've had conversations with them about it, and I said, don't you think that's just keeping the word alive?
What do they say?
Well, that's just how we speak to each other sometimes. What I said, yeah, but you're keeping the word alive, right? I mean, it was a pretty serious debate with a really good friend of mine, who I'll just leave it out, but I went, but why?
You don't need it.
Why would you? I mean,
What do you think?
Look, I think this is just the left trying to politicize something. They saw an opportunity, and they can say, "Oh, our team is winning. Look, this is the right. They're constantly a bunch of racists, and they're using this to their advantage."
Every election, that race card
It
gets
always
played.
comes up. And look, what was missing from Obama's statement was, whatever degree there's any racism left in this country, he was elected and reelected as America's first black president. We've got 2 consecutive black attorneys general, one of them a woman, 2 consecutive black secretaries of state, one of them a woman. Just yesterday, Lester Holt became the top anchor at NBC Nightly News. Unusual circumstances, certainly with Brian Williams' self-destruction.
Yeah,
but
but
nonetheless,
well-deserved.
he's a great anchor. He's a great anchor. He's a hardworking
Right.
guy, and he's holding up his ratings. So there's all this progress, and yet, if you listen to Obama, we're still trapped in 1960.
It's in our
in the
DNA.
Deep South. It's in our DNA, and the '64 Civil Rights Act has yet to be signed.
But do you remember
he's trapped
Christopher-
in the past, and that's just is incredibly corrosive and destructive.
Do you remember Christopher Dorner, the guy in Los Angeles that went on that killing spree? Remember he had this crazy manifesto where he talked so highly and kind of praised CNN personalities, MSNBC personalities. We weren't out there saying, "Oh, it's MSNBC's fault, it's CNN's fault." But then
Rachel
here they
Maddow
are.
did it, right?
Yeah.
One
Here they
thing
are trying to make this
One thing
connection.
that drives me crazy as a musician, I make music with all kinds of songwriters, all kinds of artists. We look at each other and go, I like your music. We should write a song together. None of this ever comes into play. This is like political stuff that none of us ever really think about. And to me, I'm going, it just seems like a
But that
really,
is America. That's the American
Yeah, but
spirit. And the
you gotta
left
look
is
at
trying to
Ferguson,
divide
you got to
us.
look at
But I'm
Trayvon.
saying-
You got to look at Baltimore.
But they say a guy in a cowboy hat can't be friends with a guy that raps or whatever, and that's just not true. And at the end of the day, I think it gets ignited by a bunch of crazy.
people
I
like
can't
Obama
believe,
just
by the way,
can't let go.
Eat your heart out. I got Redneck Riviera.
Yes, you do.
John, look at how cool this is.
Pretty cool,
That's
man.
awesome, man.
The stars and stripes
Oh, and I got the star on the side
There
here,
you go.
which is really, really nice. All
Thanks
right,
for having
thank you,
me
sir.
on.
Good to
Yes,
see you
sir.
guys.